Jain now joins us. Let's take the conversation forward. Pratibha, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Do you think this is making this new ruling from the government is going to make it difficult or impossible for Chinese companies to invest in India now?
Hi. It is definitely going to have an effect on Chinese companies investing in India, but I think more than just Chinese companies, it's important to note that the circular talks about any entity that has beneficial ownership from any of these neighboring countries, including China. So even if there is a beneficial ownership, which means an indirect ownership from any other country, but the ultimate beneficial ownership is from China, then that will also be covered. And it will require government route approval, which means that you will have to apply to DPIIT for approval, and which can take anywhere between 3 to 6 months.
It's a good idea to come up with something like this because we know that the Indian economy currently is a capital-starved economy. You need global flows rather than outflows. So what really could be the objective? You think this is pure retaliation, or this is the new normal in terms of trade war, which all companies are likely to adopt to now?
See, India is not an outlier in this regard. Not just in the current scenario, there has been tightening of investments from other countries. US has a similar law, CFIUS, which focuses on getting approval, but it works slightly differently. It talks about anything that affects national security. Then that would require approval from the US government, such an investment. There have been moves in various European countries too to come up with similar tests of beneficial ownership if an investment is coming from China. So definitely India is not an outlier in this regard. In terms of, whether this should have been done, you're absolutely right. I think as the lockdown continues, there is going to be liquidity crunch in the market, and whatever capital we can get is going to be very, very important into Indian businesses. But I cannot comment on national security. If India has thought it is necessary in the interest of national security to come out with this circular, I appreciate that. I think what needs to be done is to ensure that there is minimum impact of this with respect to investment coming from other countries. So, for example, as I mentioned, the circular talks about not just investment from these countries, but investment from an entity where the beneficial ownership of the investment into India is situated from any of these countries, including China. Now, defining what beneficial ownership means and which all routes of investment are covered, the sooner the government can clarify that, the better it is.
Okay, Pratibha, good to have you on the show. We'll let you go on that note. Thanks very much for that quick take.